Okay, cool. Is this thing on? Hey guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. I am trying to figure out how to work a live stream. This is my first live stream. I'm just jumping on here because I figured it'd be cool to get to know how to do this for future reference. And I just kind of want to take you through my workflow for a customer that wants a t-shirt design and two different back designs, and they've sent me a couple different kind of like crappy looking logos. I'm gonna have to vector them or find the font, and I'm sure this is a lot of stuff that you guys run into on the daily. So I wanted you to kind of see my flow here. Let's see, but I don't know if I'm even like, it says I'm live, so I guess let's roll with it. Alright, so I have here two logos I've downloaded over here, and this one is not bad. And for this one, I'm going to take it into a vectorizing app that I use instead of trying to find the font or trace it. Now this other one though, let me close that. This other one though is kind of crappy, so I'm going to try to find the font for that one, because if we try to auto trace this one, whether it be with an app or whether it be with excuse me, whether it be with Illustrator or Corel, it's probably not going to go very well. So let's do that first. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to jump over to the web here. We're going to go to what font is. That's whatfontis.com, and I use this a lot to try to identify fonts, and it is about a 60-40 to like hit miss ratio, but it does okay. So let's see what we got here. So click this little blue ABC here to upload your image. Actually, you know what we're going to do first? I'm going to go into CorelDRAW. I'm going to import that because I don't want that whole logo in there, because I just want to get a piece of it. So I'm going to import that. And I don't know if you guys use Corel. A lot of you use probably Illustrator. I find Illustrator to be amazing at its capability level, but CorelDRAW is so much more intuitive and simple, where you can do something in one click that would take you 5 or 6 clicks in Illustrator. So that's just my opinion. But I'm going to grab just a piece of this logo here. I'm gonna crop it in, and I want to get that G out. I'm going to get the middle word there, gravier, I guess is how you say that. Gravier. It's like, that's how I like my biscuits and gravy. Gravier. Alright, that's a bad joke, I know. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to crop that down, and I'm just going to export that. If you are interested in learning CorelDRAW, it's kind of what I was I'll say I was raised on it, so I can teach you how to use that. I don't know how many people use it anymore or are still interested in it, but it's a really cool program. So let's grab, did I not here we go, desktop. I'm going to just call it font because I want to identify the font here. RGB is fine. Alright, so back over here. The annoying thing about whatfontis.com is the ad pop-ups. I guess they have to, support themselves somehow, so I get it, but super annoying anyway. Alright, so let's grab our exported gravier thing here. And it's going to find the font in your image, which it did, and it will put a box around that for you. And next we'll go to next step. And next step. And you can see here it identified each letter for you and kind of put what it thinks it is, and it did a really good job. It got all of those letters. Okay, so next step. And coffee. Now, okay, so you can see on the left hand side over here where it kind of tried to match it up. I think it did match it with this Michelangelo BQ. Now, you can see over here to the right of this is it comes from myfonts.com. That's a premium font, so I'm not going to go buy this font. If you want to, like, I don't know how you do this. Like, you go back to the customer and go, hey, this logo is really crappy, and this is a premium font, so you can either provide the font for me, or you can buy it. You can buy it and send them a bill for it. You know, as long as you give them a heads up that you're going to do that first. But I'm going to go. Alright, so I know that's a premium font, so I'm going to highlight the name of it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to grab a Google page here. Okay, Michelangelo BQ. I'm going to put similar fonts to see if I can get. Okay, here's something. This takes me back to whatfontis.com to get. Oh, check it out. This one over here is Opti Michelangelo. It's free for personal use. If I could see what it looks like. That looks like it, man. So I think we just got lucky on that one. Alright, so let's download that from wherever this comes from. And if you're my ex-boss, you're like, stop downloading fonts, you're going to get viruses. You know, that's why they make virus software. It's going to be okay. Let's grab that font. I'm stoked that it found that font. I was really kind of nervous about that. Am I still streaming? Like, how do I know when I'm getting comments? And I don't know how to work this thing. I don't even know if anybody's watching. I don't. It's cool. You can come back and watch it later. But did I download that yet? Hello. Ads, man. Get off me, bro. Give me. There we go. I'm gonna save that to my desktop. I'm gonna close this ad-ridden site. And this one, and this one, and this one. Alright, let's unzip that font and see what we got here. And install it. I already have this. That's awesome. I don't need to. I guess I'll replace it anyway. Okay. Now. We can delete. Let's go back and import the original logo again to see if we can match it up. And now we're going to grab the type tool, type it in the GRAIVIER center, and we will pick the Opti, whatever that was, right here. That's pretty close, dude. That's really close, man. Size it down. I like to make it a different color and overlay it just to kind of... Nice. That's probably not exact, but it's probably close enough. And I guarantee it's close enough if the customer doesn't want to buy the font or provide it. So that's awesome. So now... we do have the rest of this logo to vector, basically, because look at this. That's nasty. Alright, so I'm already in a vector program, though, CorelDRAW, so I'm going to show you how I roll. I'm just going to grab a little rectangle tool and make that outline. Fill it with black. And I'm going to lift it up and put it on a new page. And actually I'm going to take this over to a new page as well. I'm kind of building my logo a piece at a time and then putting the new pieces on a new page here so I can see everything. This little frilly looking accent, I'm going to hand vector that with the pen tool, which you may or may not be familiar with. Super blurry, it's going to be tough. Alright, so here's the easiest way to do this in Corel. I'm going to just go around the outline of the whole thing. And it's kind of like the Bezier tool. You click and drag to make the curve. Click and drag down to make the rest of that curve until you get down here. Now you gotta have kind of a, I'm not gonna say artistic eye, but you have to like pay attention to the flow of these lines if you can see them. I can barely see them. And we'll clean them up here in a minute by deleting some nodes and things. And I'm just going to connect those. They have little ball thingies on the end. We'll get to that. Alright, so now let's go into the spaces. The most important part of this is pay attention to where, like, see this line goes around here, where it flows to. Like, boom, right there is where it's going to connect. And then this is going to come down this way. So you're going to kind of round that a little bit. And we will correct these, like I said. Just kind of follow the flow. And then boom, that's where that one connects, because it's going to flow into this one down here. And I can't really tell, but I think there's another, like right here, where this one is going to come down. That makes sense. And now there's this one. Come down here, connect that. I do not like things like this. That's too wide at the base. I'll pull that up a little bit there so that's kind of symmetrical. You're looking for clean symmetry if you can get it. And try not to vector the anti-aliased portions, because that's just going to thicken up the logo or whatever it is that you're tracing. Alright, you see we got kind of a you see where this comes in. This is a straight line here, and you get a node here. I'm gonna put an anchor node here, is what we call that when we drop a node beside it, so we can delete that one, and it'll kind of smooth itself out. I'm gonna actually put those to a cusp, and a cusp means that each Bezier curve can go its own way without affecting the other curve. And just kind of put a little bit of a round on that. I'm gonna go ahead and round that out some more. Right there, that's cool. Okay. Now I can delete this node because it's kind of hanging out. I'm just kind of going and smoothing things out a little bit here. You don't want it to be too bumpy looking. Actually, I'm going to put that one back. I'm going to delete this one. Anchor node, delete that one. Anchor node, delete that one. And I maybe pull this one up a little bit because this line matches. Boom, right there. You like those sound effects, right? Alright, so pull this one in a little bit. Pull this one in a little bit. And this is so tiny. It's such a small accent that if you get a couple places that aren't perfect, nobody's going to notice. Because even though it does happen sometimes, it usually is not the case that your client is going to also be a graphics person. They're going to miss a lot of stuff that you would not miss. So let's even that out a little bit. You see why I did that? Watch. When I pull on this, it kind of moves all stupid. That's because I need to get that node right here and cusp it so it doesn't affect any other node. And pull it down just a tad. So that is pretty much that. Let's go ahead and grab all the pieces that we just made. Do I have them all? And I'm gonna hit Control L to link those. And I'm going to fill that with a color. Not yet, because I have a line in between here. You see that right in between? It's really hard to see. But it's like almost like where these show through, and I can't really tell. This part might take a little bit of a little bit more of an artistic eye. But I think I'm on the right track here by doing this. I'm just going to kind of I'm going to end it right there. You'll see what this is going to look like in a second. You probably see what I'm doing. And I don't even know if this is actually what it looks like, but again, neither do they, right? So, cusp that. The wonderful world of vector, right? We love it. Okay. Now, I'm going to lock that image in the background so I can marquee select all that and Control L to link. Now apply a color and see what happens. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Now I want to make these thinner in the middle because that's way too thick. Sticks out like a sore thumb. Drag this in. And maybe drag this in. Not too shabby, right? It's not perfect because it's like thick in some places and not in others. But we can correct a little bit of that here and there. Alright, cool. Now, I'm just going to, for this, I'm going to do a circle. Just make sure it connects with that black down there. Then I'm going to do another circle here because there's kind of a blank space. Can you guys hear me? I feel like I'm whispering. You probably can't, and I don't know how to turn it up. I'm sorry about that. I will work more on this live thing. So we got kind of a little ball on the end of that. Might be a little big. I like that better. And as far as this one goes, I'm just going to grab one and put it like over here. And I might drag this down. And fill that. Perfect. I'm gonna select all that, and this little button up here welds them all together, makes them one curve. So now we have our generic little accent that we can place right there. And at actual shirt size, it's going to be so tiny, nobody's going to care. Now we've got the sans serif font down here. I'm not even going to mess with trying to identify it because most of the time on the sans serif fonts, as long as it's like relatively close, nobody cares. Plastic surgery. Okay. And make that about the right size here. Okay, now we're going to change the spacing. Nice. And copy that. I'm using hotkeys, so I'm sorry, this is not really a CorelDRAW tutorial. I will do one of those in the future if anybody wants to learn or has it already and doesn't really know how to use it. And there's just a circle here. A black dot. Alright, so let's grab that. Put it under there. And I'm going to space these a little more even. I like it. Plastic surgery med spa. Okay. I'm going to center that on this line. And that's it, guys. That's that logo. and I'm going to group. I'm going to turn that to RGB black. And that's going to go on the back. I'm going to change my page size to like a 14 by 16. This is going to be the back of a shirt, so I'm going to do like 12 inches wide, or maybe 11, excuse me, 11, because it's a ladies' tee. That's the back. Now, our other logo, this is the cool part. Let me jump into my streaming software here. I don't know what is happening. What's going on? Warning, the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend to use a stream bitrate of 6800. I don't know what that means either. So let's, is there anybody in here? It says I have 4 views, but I don't know. Open. Dealing with the live stream app. Winging it. Stream 6800 KB. Lower than the recommended bitrate. 6800. Open widget. I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to change that, so I guess my stream status is good, so I hope you guys are seeing this and hearing this okay. I'm going to talk a little bit louder and stop mumbling to myself, so check this out. We got the other logo. Remember the other one that wasn't in bad shape? Here, check it out. Radiant skin. Now, for these kind of files that aren't too bad looking, I use this app on the web called vectorizer.ai. You can just type that in your browser and go there. I pay $10 a month for it, for like unlimited credits, so that's super not bad. And if you're interested in something like that, there's a link in the description for it. But I'm just going to click this, get my Radiant Skin logo, and it's going to do its thing. And that's it. That's your result. It does a beautiful job, like 90% of the time. It wouldn't have worked on that other logo because it was so degraded. And you can download it, and you can choose things like place shapes and cutouts, or stack shapes on top of each other. So that means they won't be like cut out of each other. Kind of like an overprint situation. My draw style is fill shapes as opposed to just stroking it, and I always export it as a PDF. You can do SVG, EPS, PDF, DXF, and PNG if you wanted like a transparent PNG or something. So let's go ahead and download that to my desktop, and we'll call it Radiant, just so I know what it is. And we're going to pop back open CorelDRAW, and we can go ahead and import this into the software, Radiant. You could also import it into Illustrator, or anywhere for that matter. That comes in as a group, so I'm going to ungroup it. You can see over here in my objects panel all the pieces, but I just want to get rid of the white. So to make sure I do that, I'm going to put a background color behind it, and I'm just going to go in and delete all these little white pieces because I don't need them. And there's a tool in here where I could select all this color at once and delete it, but like I said, this is not a CorelDRAW tutorial. It's just my workflow. Now I can group that and make sure it's the same black as the other thing. And boom, I got my logos. So let's unlock that and delete it. Now I've already got the t-shirt that they wanted over here, so I'm just going to copy those to my new file and scale that down. This is actually the front that's going on it, so I'm not going to mess with that. I am going to put this over here, and I'm going to scale that down to about 2 inches, just for the mock-up. It's not going to print 2 inches. And make it white. I'm dropping it down so far because it's a lady's, well, because it's a horizontally dominant logo. Excuse me, and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to, duplicate it. Get my other one, which was Radiant Skin, and drop it down, scale it to 2 inches wide. And these, this is not my mock-up tool. I just grabbed these from somewhere, SNS maybe, or SS Activewear. These t-shirts. I have several awesome Photoshop templates for different mock-ups. If you haven't seen those, check those out. They're over on promoweapon.com. There's a video about them too. I may drop that in the description later on. I don't know. But yeah, those make it super easy. They're super brandable, super customizable with company logos, information, backgrounds. But for this, I'm just trying to get this out pretty quick to the client. So I got the first mock-up and the second mock-up, and I'm just going to export those as JPEGs for the customer to check out. And that's pretty much how I do things as far as if I have fonts or logos with fonts in them or things like that. And like I said, if you want to not mess with any of that, just tell the customer, hey, I can't use this. I've done it several times throughout the years, and they'll generally either tell you to change the font, or they'll get a high-res logo that you can trace with something like vectorizer.ai or something like that. But yeah, so if anybody's like interested in learning CorelDRAW, I got mine from the Microsoft Store, but you can, I think there's several ways you can buy it from there or from the CorelDRAW website itself. I pay, I think, like $38 a month. I know, it's crazy. Like it's all getting crazy. Whether you use Photoshop or Corel or whatever, like you pay this subscription. Now I think you can buy the standalone program for $400, $500, $600. I don't know what it costs these days. I haven't looked at it for a long time. But hey, this is my first live stream, so I appreciate you being here. If you dropped by, if not, you can catch this later on. I'll have it uploaded to YouTube. And if you have any questions, comments, like, dude, you suck at live streaming, or I couldn't hear a damn thing you said, let me know, because I need to learn how to get better at the live stream thing. Like I said, this is my very first time trying to live stream. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Promo Weapon. Peace. As soon as I learn how to shut it down, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, man. How do I turn this off? Anybody know? In stream. Alright, later.